All right, we turn now to news at Twitter. The social media giant has banned several journalists who reported on CEO Elon Musk. And this coming just a day after the platform banned Jack Sweeney. He's the person behind an account tracking Musk's private jet. NewsNation's Marky Martin is live. So, Marky, we are talking journalists here, some of those journalists from major outlets whose accounts are now suspended.
Yeah, Nicole, this is wild. You're talking about a handful of journalists here who cover the social media platform, who cover Elon Musk, who, of course, now owns Twitter. But it's not just the professional journalists who are suspended. As you just mentioned, Jack Sweeney, a 20-year-old college student who was banned just this week for posting public information. Elon Musk taking to Twitter just last night to address it all.
Tonight, a handful of journalists with prominent platforms are locked out of their Twitter accounts. Tech reporters from the New York Times, Washington Post, and CNN, among others who cover Twitter and Elon Musk, suddenly suspended without explanation. Their Thursday suspension coming on the heels of Musk's decision to permanently ban a 20-year-old Florida college student whose account tracked his private jet.
Did you ever think it was going to come to this? A fight with the world's richest guy?
I mean, it just keeps on piling on, and it's event after event.
Jack Sweeney, who created the account Elon Jet, spoke to On Balance host Leland Vittert.
Why is it important to do this?
You know, you got to hold them accountable. He wants to win here, and, you know, really, it's public information that's already there. I should be able to share it. It's the free speech that he promised a month ago.
Musk accusing Sweeney's account of doxing, sharing, quote, basically assassination coordinates, a practice Musk says violates Twitter policy.
Yeah, for sure.
Musk sharing this video, saying a crazy stalker followed a car carrying his young son in Los Angeles this week, blaming Sweeney for the event. He says the journalists who shared Sweeney's content are guilty of doxing as well.
You're suggesting that we're sharing your address, which is not true.
Last night, many of the suspended journalists joining a Twitter Spaces group chat, which they could still access. Musk joined to defend the move.
You show the link to the real-time information, bad evasion, obviously.
Criticism of the billionaire coming from high-profile figures, like former U.S. intelligence contractor and surveillance whistleblower Edward Snowden, who tweeted, "Come on, man, you're a public figure in a position of power in a world where even normal people are constantly tracked." And world-renowned chef Jose Andres tweeting a picture with suspended CNN reporter Donnie O'Sullivan, saying in part, "Hey, Elon Musk, Donnie isn't such a bad guy after all. He says thanks for the Twitter ban because he needed to catch up on White Lotus anyway."
And Nicole, another interesting nugget here. Musk went on to suspend that Twitter Spaces group chat after he participated with them last night, realizing that they could still participate in that group online chat. Also today, the EU threatening sanctions against Musk, calling the news worrying. Nicole.
All right, Marky, thank you for that. Well, as Marky just laid out, anyone who's paid attention knows Musk has claimed to be all about free speech. Well, On Balance host Leland Vittert has been following these developments closely, joins us once again. Leland, once again, we're talking Twitter.
Which is probably exactly what Elon Musk wants us to do.
Before I start with the questions I have laid out, has your account been suspended? You've been talking about this for days now.
Nope, still here.
So Leland's account is still active as of right now. Do you think Musk always planned to buy the platform and then just ban or suspend the accounts of those that he didn't like?
Doesn't seem that way. And you can have two things be true at once, right? It can be that sharing the live location of a private jet is not putting anyone in danger, considering he lands at airports that are secure facilities and he has his own security detail traveling with him. At the same time, it's pretty rich to have all of these reporters who for years banged the drum so loud about the need to ban anyone from Twitter who dare question vaccine efficacy, who dared say you could still get COVID after taking the vaccine, who dared question lockdowns or masks in school or anything. These people all had to be banned. And now when they do something that is against the rules and they're banned, suddenly it's a violation of free speech. So, Musk is making a point.
All right, well, let's talk Jack Sweeney.
Yeah.
You had him on the show again last night. He says he thinks Musk's lawsuit threats, because he is threatening to sue Sweeney, basically thinks the threats are a bluff. Do you think Musk is bluffing?
who knows whether Musk is bluffing or not, and the guy has shown a willingness to spend a lot on legal fees. That said, what is in it for him to take on a 20-year-old in this sense? And the flight location data is actually First Amendment protected free speech. Now, can Musk sue, or can Musk keep him off Twitter? Yes, it's a private company. He can take him off Twitter as much as he wants. Can Musk sue because Jack Sweeney's putting out publicly available information in other platforms, as he's doing, about Elon's jet and about Bill Gates's jet and about the Saudi royal family? That seems really unlikely, and it's telling that Jack said, despite Elon's comment, and we have it up there, I'm going to be taking legal action against these people. Well, so far that hasn't happened. Jack Sweeney hasn't gotten a cease and desist letter or anything like that.
All right, we will see what happens, Leland. We know you are following it. Tell us what's on the show tonight.
We're digging in not so much to this part of the Elon Musk story, but what does he want, right? This guy has started PayPal, built Tesla and electric cars, created private space travel. He didn't buy Twitter just on a lark.
Right.
He wants something. We're going to try to figure out what his end game here is and how all of these puzzle pieces fit in.
Trying to put the puzzle pieces together. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.